Hey guys, here's your weekly reading. Apologies if this cable gets in the way. I'm having to use this for now while there's a noise going on upstairs. It's not too loud, but it's just quiet enough that I can eliminate it with these headphones. But anyways, so for this week, I'm going to see generally what the reading is going to cover is for anybody who's listening, what this is going to be like for the next week. If there's any specific energies, any lessons, anything to focus on, anything to take into consideration, any medicines. So, Great Spirit, is there any messages this week for anybody who's watching? Any guidance? I'm going to turn this around as I go just so you guys can see it, but okay, so I see responsibility being a theme in general, something having to do with work, something having to do with spiritual work. Let me see. Yeah, something about work this week. So first card that comes out is the squirrel. Squirrel to me says, obviously, you know squirrels, they're kind of crazy little animals. They're running around, they're so fast, chippering away, talking to each other, hiding nuts, stealing nuts, going crazy for nuts, storing them away, hiding them, forgetting they're there, coming back and finding them later for storage, for food. So there's a few qualities there to come to mind. Maybe it's hand in hand here, a lesson for you to consider. Yes, there's a time to kind of play, forget the responsibilities, be fun, do the squirrel kind of stuff. But keep in mind, a squirrel still does manage its resources responsibly. It stores these resources away, it hides them away for a later time. But it does so knowing that sometimes it's not even going to remember where that nut is. It's not going to be able to find it again. It's kind of their nature. They just do what comes naturally to them. They know, oh, well, I can't take this with me. I'm going to put it away. That's kind of the mindset here maybe for you, is to take a look at what kind of resources can you really, keep yourself surrounded by, keep active, what kind of pot can you stir, and recognizing when it's time to walk away and let it just be, and come back to it later, knowing, you may forget about it, it may grow into a tree, and you kind of have to surrender to that process. So something about that this week, knowing there's some balance. The next card to come out is the antelope. It seems like the antelope just loves coming out for you guys. It's always coming out for you guys. Something about making, something about making a sacrifice, something about knowing an action that you're supposed to take, knowing that it has to be done, but still for some reason hesitating. So the antelope says, don't hesitate. If you know what has to be done, if you know if there's a sacrifice that needs to be made, don't hesitate, don't procrastinate. Make that choice. Take the action. Leap, like an antelope, leaping, maybe sometimes not knowing how it's all going to pan out, but knowing that it must be done. It's the only option you have left to take that's going to get you the results that you've been looking for. The last one to come out is the elk, which to me shouts something about really long-term visions this week. Stamina, hanging on, maybe feeling like you're hanging on to, some grass on the edge of a cliff, just hoping it doesn't all just rip out, but the elk is talking about stamina. It also talks about um, maybe finding some time to hang out with members of the opposite sex, not necessarily in a romantic way, not necessarily in just what's the word, like a sexual way even, but in this case, putting yourself around energies that you may not normally be exposing yourself to in order to really have what would you say, a complementary energy to your own. So if you're masculine, maybe some more feminine energies. If you're feminine, maybe some more masculine energies to be around. Doing this may help to kind of create some balance. Sometimes holding our own energy for such a long time, having all of that stamina, sometimes a release in that way of being around the opposite energy to help kind of relax or expose you to some different tendencies, expose you to some different nature, to just feel that sort of attention, feel that energy around you, feel the difference. It may help to kind of rejuvenate your attitude, your energy, your motivations. Just in general, like I said, not for romantic reasons, not for sexual reasons, just to basically just to be around that other energy, to kind of soak it up. So overall this week I'm seeing something about work coming out. I'm going to pull just a few more cards and that should be it. Let's see. So we got Lady of Love reversed, Knight of Shields, Lord of Wisdom reversed. Yeah, maybe this week for you, you might be around somebody who is just kind of emotionally all over the place, and something in this area may be kind of destabilizing. You might have to really keep your eye on the prize, so to speak. Like, I think that's why this kind of long-term planning stamina is coming out here. There may be some distractions here, emotional distractions. Maybe a friend, maybe a coworker, maybe somebody who you're close to in general who's kind of destabilizing in that sense emotionally. Maybe they're all over the place. Maybe they have a lot of stress emotionally, and they come to you maybe too often to kind of let go of all of that and come into you for guidance or something when you have maybe your own problems to deal with, and it's just not really adding to your current, not really helping your current situation. You'd love to help them out, but maybe in this case, the message is to really guard your current motivations, guard your current feelings about your long-term plans. Don't get that distraction. Don't give that distraction what it wants. Don't let it pull from you. It's not saying to, leave your friend in the dirt or anything like that, but it is to say, guard yourself. Don't allow yourself to be pulled off into this kind of scattered energy, this scattered emotional energy. Make sure to guard yourself against that. For the 9. Yeah. Yeah, it seems like something this week coming through is going to generally challenge your commitment to this maybe these projects that you have, some kind of work-related obstacle. I'm seeing generally this card comes out to talk about like really having to channel a lot of your inner resources, your inner confidence to kind of stay the course, because you might feel almost like paranoid or something, like as if all of a sudden everybody needs stuff from you and you just don't have enough energy to give it. And in this case, the Nine of Shields does generally talk about kind of feeling distanced from others, feeling this push or this need to withdraw because they're just feeling like just kind of really pushed into a corner and feeling a little edgy. So for the Lord of Wisdom to come out in reversed, I'm going to say it's another sign about some kind of external influence. Yeah, maybe this week you might be experiencing some really strong external influences. This could be in the form of a person. Obviously, I'm getting two messages here that are talking about a specific person, but I don't know if they're the same person. One person who's really emotionally out there, all over the place. One person who is very confident and direct and maybe even kind of cocky or super confident in what they're doing, and as a result can really be difficult to come up against, to stand up for your plans, for what you want, to stand up for you basically. Generally with this, I just really feel like there's some challenges to what you might consider to be success, whether that's finishing out the week strong at work, whether that's having a side job or a side project that you had planned to finish this week and maybe for some reason it's delayed. The question here is to keep your eye on this long-term plan. Sometimes requires you to be a little bit more objective. It requires you to have an open mind to really what success is. Is success actually finishing the goal? Because sometimes finishing that goal just doesn't really feel as good as we thought it would. A lot of times we get to the goal and we find out we have something else that we need to do because our desires just are constantly popping up one after the other like whack-a-mole. And if you're not keeping that state of mind of, I'm going to have tons of goals, I'm always going to have more things to work on, I need to work on my state of mind, I need to stay dedicated and committed, I need to take that action when it comes to me, when those opportunities come, and I know that I need to make a decision. I need to have that frame of mind that helps me get there, because these goals are going to keep coming at you. These obstacles, maybe these people who are going to either antagonize you or distract you with problems. They're always going to be there. And obsessing over one or the other, getting attached to the problem, feeling like it's personal, feeling like it's a conspiracy, that's not going to help you move forward. What is going to help you move forward is to focus on a long term. Focus on having stamina, focus on pacing yourself, focusing on stirring those pots that you have in front of you when you can, recognizing when to let them go, knowing when you've just lost that ability to really make any more improvements on the situation, knowing that you may just have to let it go for now, come back to it later, maybe not come back to it later. But ultimately, I think it's really about big picture perspective this week for you. So don't get discouraged. Don't take it personally when people around you are telling you, no, you can't, or hey, I really need help, and you're being selfish, or why can't you focus and help on other people? There's an ebb and flow to this. It's not a black and white, this is how you always solve this problem. But I feel like this week the challenge is really to maintain your focus, maintain your energy, keep your stamina up, and learn, when you need to let go of things and when to keep working at it. So I hope that helps you guys this week. I will be releasing the last series of the zodiac signs this week on the air signs. So I'm looking forward to hearing back from you guys on that. And I'll be jumping into a different section of the astrology basics covering the 12 houses. And once I've covered the 12 houses, I'll be getting into some really fun stuff, the planets, the aspects, and some other stuff. The whole reason I've been wanting to do these astrology basics videos was because I realized, when I first started out, how complicated it was having to find knowledge, that was accurate, or at least well-rounded, and, not really trying to paint it one way or the other. And so I'm trying to find a way of getting that information to you in a way that makes sense to me and hopefully makes sense to you. I'd like to make it so that you can understand astrology for yourself. Maybe even, hopefully, the plan is to be able to interpret your own chart without getting a headache. So I really look forward to sharing more of that information with you. And once again, I hope this weekly reading helps you throughout the week. And I will see you. Peace.